Hi, my name is Anil Raoji, Advice Tech Lead at Quality Product Research, more commonly referred to as Quote Monster. In this video, I want to demonstrate a new concept that we've come up with called price change history. This new concept looks at the data or looks at price changes that life insurers and health insurers have made to their product range over the last 10 years. Now, we use something like over 2 million data points to build this model for you. It's important to understand a few points. Firstly, we're only referring to step premiums. There is nothing around level premiums in this information. And it is at a very high level. A high level on current products only. And we're not taking into account loyalty discounts or multiple benefit discounts and all those sorts of things that insurers offer. I would also make it very clear that past changes do not reflect what we think will happen in the future. This only demonstrates the history. Broadly speaking, with step premiums, there are three reasons why premiums go up. Firstly, because of their age. Not a lot we can do about that. Second reason is due to CPI or indexation on their cover. So you can, as an advisor, or talk to your clients about reducing that amount of cover. But the third reason is, from time to time, insurance companies have had to make changes to their premiums, and factors that drive these are things like incorrect pricing, maybe too many claims, perhaps they've had too much pressure from their reinsurer, and from time to time, they've actually made benefit changes, and sometimes that puts an upward pressure on the price, but often clients end up with a better value contract. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate price change history, and I'm going to use an example of a 38-year-old female. So if you just bear with me while I'm just going to flip my screen and jump into my Quote Monster account, and I'm going to log in. And what I'm going to do, and I've prepared this earlier, I've just created a 38-year-old female, non-smoking female. And remember, when we do the quote and when we do price change history, it is personalized to that particular person. So if I then go into next, and what I'm going to do here, I've just added some life cover, a bit of accelerated trauma and TPD, and a bit of income protection in here as well. So the sums insured, not relevant at this point. I click Crunch, it calculates the premiums. And then when I click on Next and go into Research, we've got this new tab in here called Price Change History. Before I just jump into that, I do want to remind users that in the Premium tab here, really useful, you can see or show to your clients the costs of the different packages across the marketplace. You can highlight different components and show your clients what those cost. You can show, for example, hey, income protection takes a significant portion of this package. You can also show to your client by deselecting income protection, for example, what that package would look like, or if I took off trauma cover, what that package would look like. This doesn't change our quote, doesn't change our research. It's just an illustration for your client, should you want to have a discussion around that. But slightly off the topic, back to price change history. And with price change history, you can see in here, we default to life cover, and you can see the changes that the various insurance companies have made to the cost of life insurance premiums. Now, I can hover over an insurer. So, for example, Fidelity Life, I could see that line a lot clearer, or highlight on this line and see that company. I can also deselect insurers. I can take them off, and let's say, for example, I can show what each company has done. I could do that one at a time, or I can do a comparison. So I can show a couple insurers matched to each other, or I can show 3 insurers or the whole range in here as well. Now down below in this table, on this button, I can open up this table to show you the actual numbers and the percentages that have changed. And like I said, past performance is not a reflection of what's going to happen in the future, just like investment returns. And we understand insurance companies do operate in a competitive marketplace, so the last resort, the last thing they want to do is increase premiums. But bear in mind, we have not taken into account, like I said, this is at a high level, it doesn't take into account those loyalty discounts. It doesn't take into account policy fees, etc. I'm going to show you health insurance in just a moment. But I would also point out sometimes these premium changes do come with enhancements or improved benefits for your clients there as well. Before I move to health insurance, I can also show you trauma cover, for example. I can show you income protection. And when you drill down to individual companies, you can see quite a story behind each of these insurers. Now, what I'm going to do is I am just going to exit out of that one, and I've prepared this one here. And in this example, I'm just looking at health insurance. So for the same 38-year-old female, if I'm just looking at health cover only, and the reason I'm looking at health cover only is that I want to include the whole range of health insurance companies. I then click in Next. And if I jump into price change history, and this tends to horrify people, but I can see, for example, let's have a look at each of these insurers. I can see what Accuro has done versus AIA versus NIB versus Partners Life, Southern Cross, and Unimed. So it is some interesting details and information to be aware of. So often advisors will come to me and say, well, this looks great, but how would I use it with clients? I do have 4 suggestions, but my first comment would be is that I don't think this is a tool or facility that you would use for many of your clients. I'd be a bit wary, just pick and choose who you're going to use this information for. But it's a great tool for us as advisors to understand what's actually happened in the past, and to understand those factors that have driven those changes. Another example that you might use this is for those people that are just looking for the lowest cost, the lowest price. Most of us know that lowest costs doesn't always result in the best result for your clients. They can often buy better quality products for slightly more. So it's a good tool to show or demonstrate to those potential customers that are just looking at the lowest price. You could say to them, look, yes, you could take the lowest price, but from time to time, insurance companies do make these changes, and you don't want to be stuck in a product that might ramp up in price in the future. For health insurance, or for most benefits, we know it's a tough time for all the health insurance providers. And it's a tool where, if, for example, your client comes to you and complains that how come the cost of their particular health insurance premiums have gone up by so much, you've put me in the wrong product, you can demonstrate this information to your client and explain to them, look, they're all pretty much in the same boat. So perhaps stick with what you've got in place. Don't always look for that lower premium or the cheapest premiums. And perhaps for the last reason I would put on my list for this is step versus level. So again, your client might be looking at step premiums. You might be informing them or giving them some advice around level premium. Again, this helps reinforce why level premium might be a better option, especially with those guaranteed life insurance rates. That might be a better option. So even when you're comparing those projections of step versus level premiums, you never know you don't have that certainty in terms of the cost of the step premiums, whereas level premiums you do. So it's another argument as to why your clients should possibly be looking at level premium contracts. So that's price change history. That is available for all of our subscribers. If you've got any questions, thoughts, comments, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Please give us a call in the office or drop us an email. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time today.